Hello, welcome to Critical Joke Theory with your host, G.D. Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humorist. Now with new joke technology. Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humorist at Large, but I'm losing weight. Welcome to Critical Joke Theory, episode 94. Now with new joke technology and 13% more snark and open caption for the humor impaired. Tony Roberts, who appeared in 6 Woody Allen films, excluding home movies with Sun Yi, while enjoying a long, bountiful career on Broadway, died Friday due to complications of lung cancer. He was 85 years old. Roberts appeared in 6 Woody Allen movies, including Play It Again, Sam, Annie Hall, Stardust Memories, Hannah and Her Sisters, and Radio Days. The actor was also known for his work on Broadway, for which he won 2 Tony nominations for Best Actor in How Now, Dow Jones and Play It Again, Sam in 1968. His most recent work was the 2017 television film adaptation of Dirty Dancing. Tony Roberts usually played the handsome friend in Woody Allen movies, but anyone standing next to Woody Allen would be the handsome friend. I'm just realizing that it wasn't Tony Roberts that played Donald Hollinger in That Girl. Rest in peace, Tony. Thank you for the Stardust memories. Now that I know who you were quite good. Virginia McCaskey, longtime Chicago Bears owner and matriarch, died. She was 102. The cause of death has not been released. Virginia McCaskey was the owner of the Bears for 41 years. In those 41 years, she scored the same number of Super Bowl touchdowns as Walter Payton and one fewer than William Refrigerator Perry. Okay, that remark may be a bit callous, and I don't mean to be a ditka about it. Come on. Rest in peace, Virginia. Your late husband was getting tired of waiting for you. Mark Fogel, an American teacher held by Russia for 3.5 years for a minor medical cannabis infraction, is back on U.S. soil after his release earlier this week. Mark Fogel, 63, who had been sentenced to 14 years in prison, shook hands with convicted felon, unregistered sex offender, public housing resident Donald Trump in a light snow outside the White House after his return to the United States and safety. Trump told the press that the Russians didn't get anything of substance in return. So this is what they got of substance in return. They got accused Russian money launderer Alexander Vinnik. Vinnik is accused of running a multi-billion-dollar cryptocurrency exchange that allegedly did business with drug dealers and identity thieves. Vinnik was arrested in 2017 in Greece and subsequently extradited to France, where he was sentenced to 5 years in prison in 2020 for money laundering. He was extradited from France to the United States in 2022. According to the source, Vinnik has to forfeit money seized by the United States government as part of the exchange. Vinnik will more than likely be offered a job as a cryptocurrency advisor to the Musk-Trump administration. Andrew Lester, the man who shot and injured then 16-year-old Ralph Yarl in April of 2023 after the teenager accidentally rang his doorbell, pleaded guilty Friday to a lesser charge. That means he'll avoid a trial that was set to begin next week. Speaking of weak, if Lester has half as many ailments as his attorney claims that he has, Lester should also be charged with felony cheating of death. Lester pleaded guilty to Class D assault in the second degree, which is punishable by 1 to 7 years in prison. His sentencing is set to begin March 7th at 10 a.m. With the plea, Lester, who was charged with first-degree assault and armed criminal action, will avoid trial, previously set to begin on February 18th. After a mental health evaluation, Lester was found to be competent enough to stand trial, but maybe not so competent to own a gun. According to reports, Adrian Simancas and his father Del were kayaking off the coast of Chile, near Punta Arenas, on February 8th at around 3 p.m. A massive humpback surfaced within inches of Adrian's kayak. Adrian and his boat ended up tipping into the whale's mouth. Del, who was nearby with one of the worst cameras ever created, apparently filmed the whole thing. Thankfully, the whale wasn't too interested in eating a human and a large chunk of plastic, so it spat both Adrian and the kayak back out. Dell's footage shows the whale surfacing near his son, Adrian, knocking him out of his kayak as the whale's mouth closed around him. His son said that the whale trapped him in its mouth before freeing him underwater. As the father calmly paddles towards his son, he reassures him with the words, "Tranquilo, tranquil," which translates to calm down in Spanish. Despite the horrific experience, his son appears to be unharmed. Venezuelan media reported that he was completely shocked by the situation, and his pants were completely soiled. Adrian has since petitioned the Chilean government to legally change his name to Jonah. Bavaria governor says the Munich car incident is believed to be an attack. The suspect in the vehicle attack that injured dozens of people in Munich shouted "Allah Akbar" or "God is great" to police officers after the incident. I thought if you yelled "Allah Akbar," you were supposed to take your own life. Well, since he didn't die, he does not pass or go to heaven, and he does not collect 76 virgins. At least 39 people, including several children, were injured after the driver rammed a white Mini Cooper, which is technically a car, into a crowd during a Verdi trade union demonstration in the center of the city Thursday morning, authorities said. The suspect, a 24-year-old Afghan asylum seeker residing in Munich on a valid residence permit, acted alone and admitted during their questioning to intentionally driving into the crowd. And he is still less dangerous than Trump and Musk. The two pilots who were aboard a military aircraft when it crashed near Shelter Island in San Diego are in good condition and under 24-hour medical observation, U.S. naval officers said. The Navy said in a statement that a U.S. Navy EA-18G Growler assigned to the Electronic Attack Squadron 135 crashed while landing around 10:15 a.m. The pilots ejected into San Diego Bay and were immediately recovered before being taken to a local hospital for medical assessment, according to Navy officials. I'm waiting on how convicted felon, unregistered sex offender, public housing resident Donald Trump is going to blame this on DEI. Quote, harbor security boats are on site securing the area and a contaminant boom was placed around the crash site to minimize the spread of fuel and debris. The statement reads, environmental and safety teams are working to mitigate any potential impacts. There are no reports of civilian injuries or damage at this time, close quote. The crews are trying to get everything done before Trump realizes that they are productive and fire them. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., seen here trying to identify that smell, has been sworn in as the new Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. Supreme Court Associate Justice Neil Gorsuch presided over the ceremony at the White House. As the new chief, Kennedy will manage a federal department that operates around $2 trillion budget and oversee its program activities and divisions, HHS said on Thursday. The agency's key divisions include the National Institutes of Health, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Food and Drug Administration, and the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or as Kennedy calls them, expendable. So what do you give the new HHS secretary as a congratulatory gift? Multiple outbreaks of the measles have been reported so far this year. One outbreak in Texas ballooning from 6 cases to 48 cases in just over a week. Quote, due to the highly contagious nature of this disease, additional cases are likely to occur in Gaines County and the surrounding communities, the Texas Department of State Health Services said on Friday. The majority of cases in Texas involve children under the age of 17. 13 have been hospitalized. The reason for these recent outbreaks, experts say, can be traced to declining vaccination rates. Experts? There you go with experts. If they were so great, they would still be spurts and not experts. A Russian drone attack caused significant damage to the radiation shelter of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky says. The Russian drones struck the shelter of the destroyed power unit at the plant, causing a fire that has since been extinguished, Vladimir Zelensky said. Putin is blaming DEI. Chernobyl was the site of the world's worst civil nuclear catastrophe when one of its four reactors exploded in 1986. That reactor is now enveloped by a protective shelter known as a sarcophagus to contain the lingering radiation. There's still lingering radiation in the Russian strike hit with a drone? You gotta be putting me on. J.D. Vance, seen here counting down the weeks until Trump has his accident, has said he will implore Berlin to work with the far-right Alternative for Germany, AfD, to curb migration despite an unofficial ban on collaborating with the group. Mr. Vance spoke at the Munich Security Conference on Friday against the backdrop of President Donald Trump blindsiding Europe and Kiev by organizing a one-to-one with Russian leader Vladimir Putin to discuss ending the war in Ukraine. Trump wants Ukraine to act like the GOP and lie back and take it like a Lindsey Graham. And finally, my Said-It-Torial. I think it's time we consider a national age of consent. It's obvious that the Musk-Trump administration is hell-bent on fucking the country. Maybe we deserve it. We had multiple chances to prevent Trump shit show, the sequel, from happening, and we didn't do it. The people who are of voting age who allowed this to happen, shame on us. But the children didn't vote for this. They didn't ask for this, and they don't deserve this, yet they're about to get fucked in a big way. Trump and Musk shouldn't be allowed to fuck the kids. I propose a national age of consent. This will prevent the government from fucking our kids regardless of party. The government cannot take away our kids' food. The government cannot take away our kids' education. The government cannot take away our kids' clean water and air. The government cannot take away our kids' health care. No matter what Trump does to us adults, the kids shouldn't have to suffer. But there is no national age of consent, so our kids are getting fucked. That makes Musk and Trump pedophiles. What did we do to pedophiles in the past, before Trump and friends normalized it? Since January 20th, nearly 70 court cases have been filed against the Musk-Trump administration, and 14 of the 22 democratically controlled states are suing Trump-Musk DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, over their use and misuse of unchecked power on the grounds that it violates the Constitution's Appointments Clause, mostly on behalf of government workers. Even if Trump were to lose all of them, who's going to make Trump comply with the law? The courts can order the marshals to grab Trump and bring him to the stand before the court to explain himself, but the marshals are part of the executive branch. All that Trump has to do is say, stand back and stand by. Wait, that's the Proud Boys. Stand down. That's it. Stand down. And the Justice Department has been so weaponized and broken by Trump that they are not going to defend the Constitution. They can't shit and they won't get off the pot. There are a few good ones. Okay, were. They keep resigning rather than violate their oaths to uphold the law. Danielle Sassoon and Hagen Schotten from SDNY have turned in their resignations, as well as 5 members of the DOJ Public Integrity Office, behind Beauvais' request to dismiss charges against New York Mayor Adams as part of a quid pro quo between Trump and Adams. Now, Mayor Adams has to do Trump's bidding, or the charges against Adams will be brought back. So, Mayor McCheese is at the mercy of the clown. For example, the Trump administration, via Kristi Noem, Homeland Security Secretary, took $80 million out of federal funding out of the city of New York's bank account, and Mayor H.R. Adams, has said nothing. The city of New York is now $79.5 million overdrawn. In addition to that, the mayor of Mayor Adams, is letting ICE agents go into Rikers to deport incarcerated undocumented prisoners. You may be saying, so what? They're criminals. The point is that it's against New York law. ICE can legally deport them after their sentences are up. They only want the prisoners now so that Trump can get his deportation of actual criminal numbers up. Because, see, Trump has been deporting everybody but criminals. Fire, ready, aim, repeat. There is a reason that Trump cannot legally own a gun. Trump is nothing more than a common criminal with uncommon power. But he's still a common criminal. And he wants everyone and everything to be as corrupt as him so that he doesn't appear to be so corrupt. It's our choice. We can be ethical and moral, or pieces of shit like convicted felon, unregistered sex offender, public housing resident Donald Trump. Yeah, I Said-It-Torial. I'm G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist, now with new joke technology and 13% more snark. Thank you for watching Critical Joke Theory, where our motto is I purport, you decide if you decide it right. If you enjoyed it, please like and share it, and please check out Dumb Way Past Funny on YouTube, Knob TV, and Spark TV. Also watch The Church of Last Resort streaming live on Sundays on YouTube at 9 a.m. Eastern, and feel free to check out my website, www.sogdfunny.com, to access more of my content. Be safe out there, and don't feed the crazies. Critical Joke Theory with your host, G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist. Now with new joke technology.